If there is one image that can clearly show us how this health crisis has become an economic crisis in this country, it is this right here. The Pittsburgh Gazette captured video of hundreds of cards lining up for the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank before it opened yesterday. Some waited 5 hours as volunteers distributed emergency supplies to 1,500 families, and then they ran out.
A new reality for those in need. Rick Paulson is the volunteer coordinator for the Joined Hands Food Pantry. He says they've been holding the food pantry for 15 years, but have never seen it like this.
Someone says out of the 1950s movie or a bad dream.
With Steve Ratner.
We are clearly in a major recession with major impacts on working men and women in this country who are not going to have their jobs. The highest we saw during the Great Recession was 665,000. And this may well only be the beginning.
If you looked at this scene in black and white, you would think you're back in the 1920s or 30s during the era of the Great Depression. The line outside the Bowery Mission stretches down that street in that direction, and it comes back in this direction as well. They say that the line is getting longer and longer each day that this coronavirus crisis drags on.
Keep it with it.
Number one.
My name is Ken Moritz, and I'm doing very well. Yes, doing good, thank you.
What do you do in the food pantry?
I handle the operations. So title-wise, I'm the director of operations, and that basically is I oversee from a leadership perspective to make sure that all the operations is going properly, everything from deliveries to capacity, product, refrigeration, down through delivery to our clients. However, saying that, I'm kind of the overseer. The people that really do the daily work are more the leadership team, the team leads. You know, the people that are really turning the wheels are the ones that are in the day-to-day operations itself.
I feel that I'm the first person that they come to see. I am at the desk and I sign them in. And as I'm signing them in, I talk with them and ask them how they're doing. And they somehow start telling me about their lives. And because of that, I get to know the people. I get to know where they're at. And to me, that's a blessing.
We are packing food in by categories so that when the people get home, it's all together. John and I work together a lot, so we have a system.
My kids love those nice. These are for if they need to give them out, it's waters. For them.
Oh.
They said to put them out. So I do a lot of the heavy lifting because I'm one of the younger people. So that's what I do. I'll lift the heavier stuff. I'll move stuff. I'm also one of the taller people. Sometimes I'll just touch on like I'm one of the youngest people there, and sometimes I can't do it all by myself. So it's like, I'll just tell them like, hey, can you come help me? Or can you come help, like Becky or Annie? And they're pretty cool about it, I love to help in any way possible,
We are expanding. Since the pandemic, we have expanded our menu. We create it every week, and so we have added diapers, pull-ups, infant formula, toiletries, toothpaste, laundry soap, you name it. Whatever we can get, we bring in. In a time when our grocery store shelves are empty, our pantries are busier than ever, and we're able to stock our freezers, refrigerators, and shelves. We haven't gone without, and so therefore our families haven't gone without either. They come in and they're just so overwhelmed with a menu that they can pick and choose from what they don't want, what they do want, what they can really use on a week-to-week basis. So,
what do you do with the spoiled food?
If something is not good enough to give out, we put it in here. We call this the pig box. And a family from church that has a farm comes and picks them up on a Sunday, and they're given to the pigs. Nothing's wasted. We're really pleased about that. The vegetables and the pastas. This is a very large family. It's a new family, and we're serving 9, 5 adults, 2 babies, and 2 children 3 to 17. So we go down the list, and then we compare it to the list here to see the quantity.
Well, my children never had to experience what the kids are going through today. Yes, there was always poverty, but not to the extent that I think it is today. And it's really great to know that they're not going hungry, that we give them enough so that it sustains them and it's healthy. And so it's very rewarding to know that we can help these families and their children.
So after every client, you wipe down the carts?
Yes. Yep. Disinfectant spray, wipe it down. Make sure that, hopefully we don't transmit anything.
What brought you to an understanding of, I need to do something?
I think it's a multifaceted response. Partially because I was doing probably a small role in the food pantry initially of scheduling our drivers and making sure our drivers would show up to pick up our produce each week and deliver it to the pantry. And that role kind of evolved into something much greater due to my predecessor leaving unexpectedly. Where are we? That's a good question. So based on this whole COVID scenario, we're producing and delivering probably 3 to 4 times the product that we did before March of 2020. All right. And we are servicing clients that are not just poverty clients, but clients that have been affected financially and impacted significantly through this whole COVID process. Well, we're located in the gym of Faith Baptist Church, and we are privileged to have a couple of the rooms that were designated for the food pantry. And we've been fortunate this year to be able to expand that to an additional room for our freezer capacity and storage capacity that has more than doubled. So we've been blessed by the church as well as by the community in being able to grow to meet the needs of our community.
So my situation in the food pantry is very unique. I am involved in the oversight of food pantry as far as a senior pastor is concerned. So Ken and others run it directly, but we're involved in the food pantry as much as taking interest in what's happening, praying through what the food pantry are doing, making sure that everything's going smoothly. But I was also a recipient of the food pantry. When we moved here in November, we came from England, because basically COVID had sent us back to England for 7 months. And before that, as I've already said, we were in Louisville, Kentucky. And neither myself nor my wife, Grace, had had any work for 2 years. I was a full-time student in Louisville, and Grace, being a qualified dentist, is unable to practice in the US. They just don't recognize her qualifications. She would need to do some more training. So she wasn't working. I was a full-time student. For a period of 2 years, we had no income. So when we came here, we were coming in faith. The church hadn't yet voted for us. We weren't sure if this was going to be where we're at long term. We were still in the position of not having any income. We were granted, we're so thankful for it, access to the ministry house. So we were living and still are, living in the house that's provided for us by the church. And then we were blessed by the food bank. We were, as soon as we arrived here, presented with food for the family, and that continued for a number of weeks until my position became formal here at the church. So we are involved in behind the scenes of the food bank, but also recipients. We were recipients of the food bank until I officially started here as senior pastor in December.
The times we live in right now, the numbers of people that we see increase, but always you have the same needs that people are going through in transitions of life. And they aren't used to asking for help, and it's hard to ask for help. But what we want to be able to do is be a community and be part of the community. And that means walking alongside with each other. And so whether it's in the middle of a pandemic or whether it is when everything's going well, there are those people that are in difficult transitions of life for a lot of different reasons. And for them to know we just want to love them like Christ calls us to love them, without any alternative motives, ulterior motives, or, wanting something back. It's just the sense of how do we be a community? How do we help people and love people? And so our goal is to connect with the people that are in those transitions of life and the difficulty times. And sometimes it's just between jobs. We moved into the area and we don't start our job for 2 weeks. So it's little things, it's huge things. But we want to be there to help bridge those gaps.
Just to kind of give you an idea, we went from 10,000 pounds of product in 2019 to about 20+ thousand pounds of product in 2020, primarily because of COVID. But we received those products in various different formats. Some are through purchasing through the regional food bank by the airport in Latham, which is subsidized by the government. And we get grants, both community grants as well as donation grants that we can use to offset payments. We also, through donations through the church, pay for food. And we have some very smart shoppers within our team that could go out to Walmart's, Aldi's, Dollar Tree, and buy, particular staple items like flour and oil and sugar, and get them at such great rates. So we've been very blessed in the amount of donations and grants we've received this year to support the growth that we've had.
I think that they have to understand the joy that comes with it. And one of the things that we have done when I opened my own business was to make sure that we were giving a percentage back into the community for people to be able to enjoy that. We are blessed with business, and our business brings in a decent amount of commissions as we help other people to sell their homes or to purchase a home. And so that money, a portion of that money goes to help these organizations. So I would say get on the bandwagon, because the reward is just amazing what happens to you as you do it.
My name is Alyssa, and I've been coming to the food pantry for a few years now, and my kids and I are very grateful, and thank you. And I thank them a lot for everything they give.
Thank you.
Thank you for the food.
Thank you for helping us, and God bless you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, so thank you so much for helping me and my twins out that are a year old. You've been providing for us for a few months now, so thank you.
I'm going to read a testimony from one of our clients that comes in on a semi-regular basis. She says, as a stay-at-home mom of 3 young kids, I love coming to Faith Baptist Food Pantry. The atmosphere is charged with the presence of God, with worship music playing constantly. The pantry provides our family with essential needs and many extra special things that bless our family abundantly. For example, we have not had to buy pull-ups or diapers since last March when we started coming to the pantry. That alone has saved us immensely. In addition to supplying our family with diapers and wipes for the kids, the pantry also regularly shares fresh produce, meat, dairy, canned goods, hygiene products, and most importantly, in our children's opinion, yummy snacks and pouches. Faith Baptist Food Pantry has allowed our family to eat much healthier than we traditionally be able to afford, offering lots of organic and healthy product each week. Each Friday from 9 a.m. until noon, or until the last guest has been served, a beautiful orchestration and outpouring of the love of Christ occurs in Faith Baptist Gym. I have seen volunteers pray with visitors, and the presence of God fall upon them as they prayed. I have seen them serve humbly and love practically every week. I could name them all. They are like family to me. In conclusion, Faith Baptist Food Pantry is a wonderful place to visit, and I imagine to volunteer. They need help. The same crew has carried the pantry through COVID, and it's been a long year. Consider signing up for a shift today and see what God does. It's sincerely an incredible outpouring of love. Sincerely, an incredibly faithful family.
What keeps you going?
Oh, I'd say Jesus keeps me going.